James Maddison to Tottenham has been drilled down and confirmed. The playmaker at Tottenham has been crying since Eriksen left. One of the best playmakers in the Premier League. In today's football market, 40 million deal. When you see Arsenal paying the money they pay for Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, the money that Manchester United just paid for Mason, and Tottenham getting this deal with only 40 million. Great signing for Tottenham. There's no doubt about that. But I want to hear from you guys. And on this video, myself, as usually, and the greatest of all time, Dhaliwal, the king, he is back. We're going to give our thoughts about this deal. This has to be one of the best deals and one of the most smart signings in this summer transfer. I'm talking about overall in the top 5 leagues. And the reason I'm telling you right now is, as I've just mentioned, Tottenham was begging for a playmaker. They had Harry Kane, who was their playmaker, who was their goal scorer. Was Tottenham? Harry Kane was everything in his Tottenham team, right? One of the biggest problems Tottenham been having in the last few years was the fact they did not have a top playmaker, a player like Maddison, who knows the league very well.
Yep.
Been playing in the Premier League for a few years now. I think this is a great signing. As much as I do not like Tottenham, you guys know that. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to lie. But this is a very smart signing for Tottenham. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to do very well at Tottenham. And my boy, 40 million deal. What a deal was this? What a signing this is for Tottenham.
Leicester wanted 50 million. Tottenham got him for 40 million. It's crazy. I mean, I think the relegation came in this as well, to be fair. The relegation tax come in. So that price had to lower. I see Tottenham fans laughing at Newcastle. This is where I get a bit, Listen, Newcastle weren't actually in for him. They obviously were.
Yeah, sorry to stop you, but Maddison was one of the main targets for Newcastle
I
this
think
summer, according to FABRIZIO.
The thing is, right, I don't think they needed Maddison like desperately because obviously the Tonali buy came out, and I think they're gonna play Gamash in the Maddison role. I can play Gamash in more forward role like the Maddison. So I don't think they need him. I think Tottenham need him more than Newcastle, to be honest. I think Tottenham
absolutely 100%. Tottenham's been needed a playmaker for how long? How many years?
Will he send them to that title level? Probably not. So that's not my expectations. I think Tottenham for next season need to be top 6 at least. That's probably where they need to be up there. And Tottenham, for once I'm saying this, they're acting decent. They're acting doing well with the business so far. They're selling the Empoli goalkeeper. Maddison. And look, I still think Newcastle wanted to beat Newcastle. And look, I'm not saying Newcastle were in for him like desperately, but I do think to beat Newcastle, a club that's owned by by Saudi, is a good. That's just they're still not attractive, but it just shows at least they have more pull than Newcastle. That's probably the only thing I would say about this. Like, were they actually in for him? Probably not. But to beat Newcastle their top target, and he was their top target. Let's not lie, he was the top target. So that's the keeper for Tottenham here. I think Tottenham have done really well. 40 million. And he's probably their Eriksen replacement. After 3 years, 4 years, they found a replacement. And look, for me, if they sell Kane, it's the best scenario ever. I think they need to sell Kane. That's another discussion. But Maddison, I think if Kane, this is if Kane stays, the Maddison Kane Son partnership would work really well for me. That's going to work really well. I think it's going to work decently enough. And yeah, look, Tottenham fans should be excited. And
you know what? Because obviously you mentioned about Tottenham beat Newcastle on this signing. Newcastle is in the Champions League, and when you look Newcastle, the money they got now, and Newcastle in the next few years, Newcastle for the future. If I was a footballer, I would pick Newcastle project any day of the year over Tottenham. We know what Tottenham is like as a club, but yeah, this is what I say. This is a very good signing and a smart signing. And how Tottenham pulled this signing out is amazing. You have to give credit to Tottenham
Yeah.
to pull this signing out.
And it's not even 50. It's not even 50 million, 60 million. It's 40 million. Like, it's not even a big fee.
In today's football market.
Yeah. Like 40 million on paper seems large, but today in this market, like you said, it's a very cheap buy. And Madison, for me, I think is a bit overrated. That's no discussion. I think Madison's worth at least 60 million, 50 million best. But 40 million for Madison's good buy. Even though I think he's a bit overrated, Madison is still a good player. Doesn't mean I don't
He's
think
English, isn't he?
yes, and the English comes in again. But yeah, I think Madison is quality, and he's not as good as the English media says, but he's a good player. And in
He's very,
Tottenham,
very good player when he wants to. Let's not
yeah,
forget.
at Leicester, right? I think he has the mentality. He didn't try after Leicester. Like, he didn't want to actually fight for Leicester, and that's my only worry about Madison. Will he want to try at Tottenham? Now, do I think he will be success? I think he might, but will he have the mentality? If he performs at Leicester and has no mentality, then this won't work. If he has a mentality, you saw him in his prime at Leicester. He was amazing. He was one of their best players. And if he can bring that to Tottenham now, depends who else Tottenham buy. It really depends that. But it's a good start, and they need more, obviously. Then talk to Mickey van der Ven for a centre back. I mean, Tottenham are actually surprising me because I don't think Tottenham would get Madison. I thought Tottenham would probably end up with Harvey Barnes, which actually does seem like happening, by the way. Harvey Barnes to Tottenham might happen as well. But if Tottenham can get Harvey Barnes and Madison in, I think that's two good players. And I think they have Son already. So,
Yeah.
but if they can sneak them in for probably like combined 60 million, that's I think good deal because let's be honest, Harvey Barnes and Madison are not championship players. I don't think Harvey Barnes is like great, but he's not championship level. He is not championship level.
Yeah, but to be honest, let's be honest in here. It does help the fact that Leicester went down.
Yeah,
It
because
helps with these
If Leicester
deals.
didn't go down, if Leicester did not go down, trust me, they would have asked for 60 million.
Easy,
They're probably
easy.
because I think the relegation tax came in this because there was a massive look. Obviously, if Newcastle did come in with an offer, like, let's be real here, I think he would have chosen Newcastle. But still, I'm not gonna ban Tottenham for once. They still, no matter what you say, he was a top target. He was a top target before the summer. And they did beat Newcastle for their top target, who's in the Champions League, has more money than Levy. So, you have to give look, as much as I love bantering Tottenham, they do deserve praise for this deal. You just have to do it. Like, give them a hands clap there because 40 million. You're joking. This is cheap, man. There's no way they won't only for 40 million. That's just cheap, man. But
This is a
good deal.
steal, man.
Yeah. And Tottenham, look, they're acting, like I said, they're acting decent. They're buying decent players. And for me, they're going for players which no one knows. Like, it's Scott Madison. Who's the Empoli? I don't even know who the Empoli goalkeeper is. And that's who Tottenham go for now. For me, Tottenham go for those players, those type of players. Because trust me, remember last summer, people they had the best transfer window. They didn't. They did not win that transfer window. They probably. And look, Tottenham go this way. Players that no one knows, go for them because no pressure's on Tottenham. Like, no pressure's on Tottenham next season. Like, there's zero pressure. So, yeah, I think this is a good buy.
Not European football as well.
I think that helps Tottenham as well. That actually helps Tottenham
Yeah.
massively. Because if they got Europa League or Conference League, they can have more time training. The manager can actually, it's madness. Like, Tottenham are actually decent and they're doing good business.
Yeah. Just before we end this video, let me just quickly say two things. As I was mentioning about Madison, he's a good player. When he wants, he's very, very good. Some games he looks like a world-class player, but some games you think he's just lazy. He just cannot be bothered. But yeah, if he wants to, he's a quality player. And on the other side about Tottenham, a few transfer, the keeper from Empoli, very good keeper. I've watched a few times last season. Empoli actually was doing well as well. But I do like, as much as I do not like Tottenham, and we have to give credit to them. And the way they're rebuilding their squads, like you mentioned, with basically underrated players that some of Tottenham fans probably never heard about the Empoli goalkeeper and other players thereafter. I do like the way Tottenham are rebuilding the squad, and I think this is something they should have done a few years ago.
They need to sell Kane, and I think this is a discussion which needs to happen. I'm not going to discuss it now, but if I was Tottenham, I would cash out on Kane. Because look, I know Kane scores the goals, but you need. It's not. It's always just about Kane. It's nothing else. Like Spurs this season, it's always about Kane, nothing else. They need a diverse squad, and if they sell Kane, that does seem like happening. Obviously, Bayern Munich might come in there. It would help Tottenham if they sell Harry Kane and buy an unknown striker. I think that would be the best scenario for Tottenham. I do think Kane will stay.
Or maybe take the risk and play with Richarlison up front as a number 9, main number 9.
Well, there's no pressure on Tottenham next season. Let's not act like pressure's on Tottenham. Like there's literally 0 eyes.
Absolutely, and with Harry Kane, obviously, if you want to check out, we did a video about Harry Kane to Bayer, so check that one out. And yeah, absolutely, couldn't agree with you anymore. Don't forget, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, drop your comment as well, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. God bless you all. Thank you, and I'll see you very soon. Plenty of videos coming up.